Spider-Man Brand New Day is Marvel Studios and Columbia Pictures' next big 10-pole movie. So, we've got some unfortunate news, which isn't really breaking, although the information came out last night, courtesy of Deadline, but this actually happened on Friday. But seeing as I'm making a Spider-Man video anyway, I thought I'd talk about this story at the start of this video. So, Tom Holland, my English brother, suffers concussion on the Spider-Man Brand New Day set and will return to filming soon. Now, concussions can actually be really bad. So, in Warstu fashion, let's be a bit over the top. Oh my God, Spider-Man Brand New Day is delayed. No, but people may say that. So, I'm reading it from Deadline because they've acclimated all the information. But essentially, on Friday, filming was suspended for Tom Holland as he had a mild concussion. There were some reports saying he split his head open. No, what I actually believed happened was, based on reading all this information, is he hit his head. So according to The Sun newspaper in the UK, got to say allegedly, they're almost The Sun UK newspaper. For anybody that lives in England, The Sun is like a Twitter scooper. Meaning, take what they say with a pinch of salt, but this story somewhat seems true. Holland's injury happened during a stunt gone wrong. The outlet also reported that he since attended a charity event this weekend with co-star and fiance Zendaya. So essentially what happened was he was rushed to hospital to check over his concussion. Sources tell Deadline no one else was affected during this incident, and meeting is scheduled for tomorrow to adjust filming plans. Before filming began last month in Scotland, Holland previously said that he's over the moon and excited to be filming on location, which is freaking cool. Because what is it with Toms in Hollywood? They all like to do their own stunts. Tom Cruise, Tom Holland. And what is it with British people who are actors? Love to do their own stunts. You've got Henry Cavill, recently injured on set. British people love to do their own stunts more than any other country. Why? Probably because British people are well hard. No, but there is a thing about British people liking to do their own stunts. As we know, Tom Holland does as many stunts himself as he can. The reason they have stunt doubles is because these movies cost millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. And if they get injured on set, it can mess up the whole release date, can mess up the schedule. There's hundreds of people working behind the scenes, on set. It can mess up a lot of things. Now, I know it's a little bit hyperbolic. I don't really think this is going to change much due to the release date because it's not coming out till summer 2026. But it's not good news. So hopefully the English brother, Tom, gets better soon and probably should take a week away from set. But it says they're going to have a meeting to talk about what they're going to do next. So, before this came out, we had some updates of a filming location in Basingstoke in the UK. Again, not London. So, Basingstoke is about 50 miles from London. So, about 110 kilometers. And apparently they were filming there the 23rd, which is actually tomorrow, 25th, 29th. October the 6th, 7th, and 8th. We're apparently getting, according to scoopers and information on the Twitter sphere, we're getting a Spider-Man PS4 Prison Break. And that's presumably going to be when Scorpion gets broken out of jail, which does sound pretty cool. But the more I hear about this movie, the less grounded it seems. It literally seems to me like this movie is going to be Spider-Man PS4, Spider-Man PS5. So, Emma Myers will play Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And it actually got community noted. She's not being confirmed. Well, there's a lot of people. Sadie Sink hasn't been confirmed, but you have information coming out going, Sadie Sink's character is going to have powers. But still, no one can say who she actually is playing. So, very interesting. Tom Holland says Spider-Man Brand New Day is a rebirth. Well, this is the next trilogy. So, of course it's a rebirth. It's not a soft reboot. You can have a rebirth with the same actor. It doesn't have to be a complete reboot. Not that James Gunn rebooted DCU. That was kind of like, I guess you'll call it a nepotism reboot. But it is a reboot, but not really, because you still have Jacob there, you still have Zendaya, you still have a lot of the original cast appearing. So I get what it means. I think he's talking more from a tonal point of view. So this is what we do know. We do know it's going to be more urban, more gritty, have a much stronger tone, and it will have like hand-to-hand fight scenes, chases as we've seen them filming that tank scene in Scotland, and the action interiors like Peter's apartment. We're going to see more of that. The street level stuff, the jail stuff would be very different from, say, a cosmic level movie, which we would expect from Avengers Doomsday and from Avengers Secret Wars. So although they keep saying it's grounded, it's not, it's multiversal, but it's more grounded in that sense. Like it's going to be street level stuff, but there is still going to be a hell of a lot of connected multiversal stuff because this is the last tentpole movie before we get to Avengers Doomsday. So everyone keeps talking about this massive prison sequence, and it does remind me of the Wrath prison mission in Spider-Man PS4, and it's most likely going to be used where Spider-Man crosses paths with several classic enemies, or with new enemies, but it would make sense to have Scorpion broken out of jail. That predominantly make the most sense periodically from a narrative story point of view. So as we know, it's hard to confirm or verify any scoops, but the most recent scoop are pushing more in the way that the central villain might not be a man, but it could be a female villain, which goes back to some of the original scoops information, whatever. Alistair Starr Smith, rumored female villain, is linked to the prison plot. She could also be used as the criminal power figure connecting it to the interdemon. That could be in the movie because the whole tank thing, a lot of it does still look like it's pushing towards maybe Mr. Negative. We don't know. I'm just talking about stuff that's going around. So apparently the goal would be for Peter Parker's status after No Way Home and prepare both Spider-Man for the final multiversal events. This would allow them to showcase a more mature Peter with a normal life until we get to Avengers Doomsday. As we know, allegedly he's going to be recruited multiple times, but he's apparently, whether that's Sam Wilson or Yelena, he's going to keep rejecting, but apparently he will keep saying, "EO, if there's trouble, I will come." So, allegedly, Mr. Negative is not the main villain, but with all the martial arts in this movie, it's really hard to figure out what is actually going on in this movie. And with all the alleged industry insiders who are so reliable, not one single person can tell you directly who the main villain is and who is Sadie Sink. There was even a rumor going around that Sadie Sink was playing the incarnation of the multiverse. Then she was playing some character called the Abomination, and God knows what's going on with this movie because the Sadie Sink rumors change every other week. There's another one. It has been rumored that Sadie might be playing Jean Grey, and this makes sense because in the comics, Professor X uses his telepathy powers to hide his school from the world, erasing the memory of anyone he discovers, the mutants. So apparently the spin, and this has been going around for a while, the spin was that was what He Who Remains did. He erased everyone's memory so they didn't know they had powers, and apparently Sadie Sink's character in this movie is going to be Jean Grey without the actual powers. So what if Smart Hulk Snap in Avengers Endgame brought back the X-Men with all their powers, and that's why the Hulk is going to appear in this movie? What if that's the scenario? We don't know. That's why it's cool to go over all these Reddit, 4chan, so-called scoopers information, because no one really knows who's legit and who isn't legit. So there's lots of information going around. Frank Castle has a van with advanced technology. He has a partner. He has weapons to control all the villains. He won't use armor like the Iron Man, but a chest plate with thrusters on the back for flying, as seen in the 90s series. Like I've said, there's so many new scoopers to the game. Why should we give precedence to the so-called reliable, trusted scoopers when there's new scoopers out there that could be even more credible than the old scoopers? So I just cover everything and tell you what I think. So It's very freaking interesting, to be honest, because they're not just shooting at Pinewood Studios, they're shooting outside of London, although they're not shooting in London. So there's one post here that says, Zendaya will have a larger role than expected. She was supposed to be barely in it and have a cameo role. She went from being just a cameo role to having such a more significant part. This could bring MJ's life back into contact with Peter, although it's still unclear how they could handle it. After the memory wipe, she will have a different boyfriend and it's not Peter. There's so much stuff that could, would, should maybe be true. Let me know down below. What do you actually want in this movie? Who do you want the villain to be? Who is Sadie Sink? Let me know down below, lads. I'll try and keep you up to date with all the latest and greatest Marvel, DC, Kaiju, diverse pop culture stuff. But if you're more into anime, check the TikTok out, Warstu, as I cover anime stuff over there because it's much faster and I don't know how it would do on this channel. So like always, guys, I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.